Good evening for those of you who are on the podcast platforms. Welcome to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. I'm looking down just to make sure that we're good to go on the Facebook platform there, and it looks like we are. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this thing out. Listen, if any of you know, sometimes Zoom gives you a hard time, and anybody that knows me knows that I don't give up. I'm relentless when it comes to trying to press my way through. And so, listen, I had to try this about 3 or 4 times, literally, to try to stream onto Facebook. I was like, no, this is not going to happen today. We're going to stream today directly onto Facebook. And so here we are. All right. So it's about 7:12 p.m. on this beautiful Thursday evening. And I'm right here in Chesapeake, Virginia, within the U.S. of A. I am so glad to be here with each and every one of you guys. Welcome. I am your leadership specialist, your wealth mentor, author, of course, of several books. Some of you know about it. Some of you may not. And so definitely grateful to be before you guys on tonight. This show is a show that I stream live, not just on Facebook, but also on some other podcast platforms as well. So we're streaming, we're in front of people in Italy, France, we're in front of people in Norway, Hungary, Germany, all around the world that tunes in to this particular show. And it's all because of the grace of God, I have to tell you, that it's reaching these different countries around the world. So grateful, humbled at the ability to have territory, expanded, being able to influence and impact lives around the world. And listen, I know it's because of you too, because many of you, you're tuning in, you're plugging in, and you're sharing this out. So if it hadn't been for you, I'm telling you, where would this show be if it wasn't for you as well? And so listen, I thank you so very much. We try to do this show every single night, normally around 7:30, but because we have meetings and such that happens on, Wednesdays and Thursdays, some trainings that go on, we try to boost and actually have the show to stream live earlier. And so that's why we're going a bit earlier right now. And so, listen, I welcome you. The whole goal of the show, everybody, is really to empower each and every one of you, leaders, with the ability to win from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. Those are the 3 areas we really do want to help influence you on and help you to really grow by leaps and bounds. All right. And so again, I thank you so very much for plugging in and being a part of this show, making this show, helping to make this show a success. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And so here is what I do want to share with you as well. On this show, it's like a 2-part type of show where the appetizer is what we give at the very beginning. Like how you're going to a restaurant and you're about to get something really good to munch on and something good to eat. And so at the very beginning, I provide a little bit of an appetizer in the form of leadership content. And so many of you know that we've been focusing in on this baby right here. But before we dive in, do not forget, like or love the stream, okay? If you're looking to grow your influence, and we know that leadership is influence, and if you're not working on yourself to become a better leader, it's going to impact your ability to do business well, to have stronger relationships, and so much more. So go ahead and make sure you're liking or loving the stream. Make sure you're plugged in to this show on a daily basis. Comment below and leave your thoughts. Let's interact with one another. Let's not be strangers, okay? And then lastly, go ahead and share this onto your timeline, a group, a fan page, wherever you feel led to sharing this. Let's be a blessing, okay? Let's be a blessing. It's better to give than to receive. And we know if you give out and share out this information, it's going to help someone else to grow, okay? It will. And so with that being said, I'm going to make sure I share this onto my fan page on Facebook as well, okay? And so listen, I appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into the appetizer before the hour gets late. And so there's a chapter in this particular book, chapter 5, right? And in this chapter, he talks about how we can become better listeners, because a major part of having strong relationships is being able to be a great listener. There's a lot of people, especially speakers. Can I just have that moment where I just admit that sometimes in your mind you're thinking about what you want to say next instead of just listening clearly and actively to the person who's speaking? You can have a tendency to do it. I know I fell into that particular issue many times, and I had to tell myself, quiet, zip it, zip it in your mind, okay, before you're thinking about your next response. Ingest what they're saying, okay, fully listen. Not just listen as though you're just looking at them, completely listen. Like the little boy said, listen, Linda, listen. Okay? You got to completely listen to people. And so that is one of the most important pieces when it comes to being, having great relationships, is just listening. And he says, treat every person as if he or she were the most important person in the world. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. And you want to do that, okay? You want to treat each and every person. And really, those people are very important. I look at it like this. If they're here, they're important. Okay? I think about, of course, that little phrase they used to say in the movie from The Help. You are kind, you are smart, you is important, right? That's what they said, right? In the movie. But let me tell you something. Everyone is important. Okay, you are important. And so he talks about in this chapter, though, some benefits. What are the benefits of being a great listener? And I do want to go over that. Tomorrow we'll talk about how to become a better listener. But right now I'm going to talk about how, what are the benefits of being a great listener? And he says this. One of the benefits is this. Listening shows respect. Write that one down. Okay, if you're taking notes, right? Listening, I shows respect. Quite frankly, that's okay. Let me just have that moment. You ever had that, you're sitting down with someone, okay, those of you who are married, right? Or if you stay with someone and you're just like, look, you're trying to have a conversation and that person is just walking all over the place. You're supposedly having a conversation, but the person's just all over the place. You're like, wait a minute, am I talking to you or am I just speaking it out into the air? And I'd rather know that you're sitting still and we're just having this conversation. Can we just, or at least you're like right nearby. You're in the vicinity where I know that you're hearing me. Okay, because it could be a little frustrating when a person is way on the other side of the room or they're just doing so much, they're not really paying attention. So listening shows respect. Respect. Here's another benefit. Listening builds relationships. That's really what we're saying, right? It builds relationships. One of the things that I value about being married is that although my husband knows that I can go at it, right? At the same time, at least I know that, how much he cares because he'll sit down and he'll listen. He'll listen. Now, how long of a time he's going to sit there and listen, that's another story. But, he will listen. And that's how our relationship is built. We know the importance of communication, although we work at it every single day. Communication, amongst other things, okay? And so it helps to build the relationship. Here's another benefit of listening. Listening increases knowledge. Oh my. Oh my. For those of you who attended, some type of formal education, if you're not sitting down and still and giving your undivided attention to the professor or whoever it may be, you're going to be in trouble. You would have to go back and listen to, read all of that content from the book, although you're supposed to read some of that anyway. It's great to be in position where you can give your full attention to the information and fully understand it. It helps to increase knowledge. I know this to be true. Okay, so being a great listener increases knowledge. Also, here's another benefit. Listening generates ideas. You ever listen to some of those motivational videos and content like Eric Thomas off of YouTube or Les Brown or Miles Monroe or whomever it may be, right? You're listening to this content and it's like you're listening and you just have like that aha moment, almost as if the heavens just opened up. It was like, it was like, what in the world? Like really, like almost as if somebody was speaking audibly to you, but you're just like, no, 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 no. It's just something deposited in your spirit and you got excited about it because it was an idea that dropped into your spirit from you watching something. It can be a book title. It can be your next live stream message. It can be anything. And it just drops into your spirit. You're like, man, that is, yes, there we go. And that's why it's good also to make sure you have some type of journal nearby too. That way you can write down these ideas. And whatever it is, of course, maybe you listen to something, it's like, man, I gotta take note of that. Okay, so that you'll be able to go back and read it again. Also, here it is. Listening builds loyalty. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine if a person, there's someone who's struggling, they feel like there's no one that they can speak to, that they can really confide in, right? And they know that you will sit there and you will hear them out, whether it be socially online or whether it be over the phone or whatever it is. They know that they can confide in you, they can share information with you, right? And it just builds loyalty. They know, they respect you. They're like, man, okay, I can go to that person. I know that person is going to listen. I can just say, hey, you got a minute? And of course, get on the phone. It's all about being loyal. And I have to honestly say, although I'm not a perfect person by far, okay? Hear me, all right? I try to make sure that I'm as loyal as possible, okay? As loyal as possible, because I would want that same treatment, okay? I would. So listening builds loyalty. And here's, of course, the last point that I want to make as far as the benefit of listening. Listening is a great way to help others and yourself. It's going to help others and help you. Okay? It helps to be a great listener. That's a major element of communication. You got a sender and a receiver. Of course, the receiver is the listener. Okay? That's two parts of the communication element there, so to speak. So again, work on being a better listener. I'm telling you, your relationships will solidify, right? It will become even more stronger. So that was the leadership appetizer there. If you enjoyed it, throw out those hearts out there. Go ahead. Let it rain hearts, okay? And then look, many of you know that we do a main meal, a focus. And we've been focusing over the last 17 episodes, those previous ones. That's right. We've been focusing on a very powerful resource by T. Harv Eker. And I'm about to pull that thing up. We are getting close to the time where we're about to exit because we have another meeting coming up. But I want to show you something really quick. I want to do a quick little recap. There's nothing seriously new that I'm going to go over right now. I just want to recap these points, these 17 points, and then I'm going to redirect you somewhere. I'm going to give you a special invitation / redirect. I'm going to redirect some of my partners out there, and I'm going to give a special invitation for a few of you. See, T. Harv Eker has this book, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And in this book, he is giving you pointers, strategies, tips, insight about the difference between those who are rich versus those who are poor. I was thinking about this in terms of those who are wealthy versus those who are those are part of the wealthy class versus those are part of the working class. Okay, the working class. So that's how I saw this as I was going through it. And so here's the first point. He says, rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. Again, rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. See, rich people take responsibility. They take ownership, right, for their lives. But poor people, they just say, it's just another day. And whatever comes their way is what comes their way. They don't take control of their lives. Here's another point. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. So again, that's that scarcity, fear, something terrible is going to happen to me mindset that the poor, or in some, or I should say most, of the working class do have. A third point. Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people just want to be rich, but they're not doing anything to get it. Okay, they're not taking the necessary steps. They're not implementing a proven plan so that they can be wealthy. They're just not doing it at all. Okay, I like this point here. The number one reason most people don't get what they want, is because what? They don't they don't get what they want is because they don't know what they want. So you got to really know what you want. Here's the fourth point. Rich people think big. They think big. Poor people think small. Okay, so I got to challenge you to think bigger than what you were thinking previously. All right? I just put a thought out there on my timeline earlier today. I said, we know that Oprah Winfrey is extremely wealthy, right? But my name will be amongst those who have been extremely wealthy, one of the wealthiest women in the United States. Better believe it. Now, I don't want you to sit there and watch me. I want you to join me. Okay, join me on this quest. Don't just sit there and watch and say, hey, Lakeisha, that's a great thought. I want you to get on the journey. Okay, I'm going to show you how many of my colleagues are on the same journey with me in just a moment. Here's the fifth point. Rich people focus on opportunities, but poor people focus on obstacles. They always see a problem with everything. My goodness, can you think differently? When there are people who always see a problem with everything, I'm going to be honest with you. Can I just have an honest, transparent moment? I don't want to be around those individuals. You'll see me probably exit stage right or left. You'll notice that. I cannot associate or at least hang around too long those people who see problems with everything. It drains me. It drains me. So I absolutely, positively can't. Absolutely can't. Here is the sixth point. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people, on the other hand, resent rich and successful people. They resent them. Okay? And it's because of this jealousy or, they're not willing to do what it takes. They want it to just be given to them. They have this, oh, they got it, so I don't care. It's like a negative reaction, although they can do the same thing to get the same results, but they just don't want to put in the work. Seventh point. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. And that's true. That is true. And I think, I know for a fact for myself, and you have to think about this for yourself. God would not allow me, I'm going to just be honest. God would not allow me to associate with people who are negative or unsuccessful. All of these individuals he has removed from me. Like they either had to move away or they exited, gone. He would not allow me to remain connected with negative people whatsoever. Now it did hurt because here's the thing about me. When I love hard. Okay, I love hard. And it really hurts when individuals have to exit, but we all know that God has a greater plan in mind. He has a greater plan in mind, and I just have to surrender to whatever it is that he wants to see happen. His will be done, not mine. Here's the eighth point. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. But poor people, they think negatively about selling and promoting. They're like, I'm not a seller. I'm not a salesperson. Let me just give you a rude awakening. When you stepped out of the womb and you entered earth, you became a salesperson. Yeah, because you cried, you wanted to be cleaned off. As soon as you got out of the womb, you wanted to get something to eat. You wanted to lay on your mom or your dad, just feel that, skin against skin. You wanted all of that. When you came out the womb, you cried for it. Okay? And when you got it, you were quiet. Okay? You were just you were enjoying every minute of it. And so you were selling to get what you wanted. And so I can't believe that there is, someone who says they're not a salesperson, because that's just not true. But poor people think negatively about it. They have a negative mindset about it. Here's the ninth point. Rich people are bigger than their problems, but poor people are smaller than their problems. Rich people, again, bigger. Okay, and you have to think about it like this. I always have a spiritual perspective of everything. I always look at it like this. God is bigger than all these problems. So I absolutely cannot think that I can't overcome it because he's bigger than it. He knows about it. So why am I becoming anxious? Anxious for what? You know what I mean? Like, anxious for what? So again, rich people are bigger than their problems, but poor people are smaller than their problems. Here's the 10th point. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. They're poor receivers. You want to know why? Because poor people, they always got their hands closed, right? They don't want to release stuff. They don't want to give. They don't want to invest. They don't want to sow. So they're poor. They can't receive. They're poor receivers because their hands is clenched. They got their hands are not open where they can receive and where they're giving. It's just not happening. You're not giving and you're not receiving as well because you're a poor receiver. Do the opposite. Here's an 11th point. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. Like they exchange hours for dollars at a job. Now, there's nothing wrong with the job. What I'm saying is that you want to be able to use that to fund your freedom so you can exit stage left or right. Okay? You're using it as a springboard. It has a limited time frame to it. That's the mindset you want to have if you're trying to be wealthy. Okay? You don't want to just settle for just exchanging your hours for time. Unless you love your job, then yeah, you want to have a plan for exiting. 12th point. Rich people think both. Poor people think I got to have this or that. Again, mindset of lack. I got to have this one. I can't have that. I can't. It just has to be one or the other. No. Rich people are like, I can do this. Let's go. I can get both of those. Why not? You know, that's the way that rich people think. Okay? 13th point. Rich people focus on their net worth. Poor people focus on their working income. Here's the difference. There's a difference between getting cash and being wealthy. Difference between cash and being wealthy. Cash is an IOU. It's a debt note. Okay? It's currency. It comes in and then it goes out. Okay? And so again, it's constantly on the move. So whether you do something with it and you tell it where it needs to go or it's gone. You either tell it where it needs to go or it's gone anyway. So why not, okay, focus on building your net worth where you exchange. You tell that cash, I need you to go here so you can make more money for me. And that's exactly what we do, myself and my colleagues. And I'm going to show you how to get plugged in because that's what we do. We make this cash work for us. Okay. 14th point. Rich people manage their money well. Poor people mismanage their money well. They do that very well. How do they mismanage it? Right? I'm going to tell you right now, the number one thing they don't do is they don't pay themselves first. They don't save the correct way. They save using cash and they don't get assets. They don't save the right things. I'm going to show you how to do it right. Stay tuned. I'm about to show you. I'm about to explain it to you. 15th point. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. You ever heard of that song? He works hard for his money. You remember that song. Don't act like you are not old enough to remember the song. And some of you do. Some of you dancing right now. I got you. Okay, it's all right. Y'all remember it. Okay, you heard it in commercials and all of that. Look, how is that person working? Okay, how is the person working? See, and also put the money to work. If you don't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Figure out how to make money while you sleep. That's what we mean where it says have money work hard for you. You're making money while you sleep, so it's working hard for you. So did that happen for you last night when you went to sleep? Did you make money? If the answer is no, you want to stay plugged in towards the end of this. I'm about to tell you. 16th point. Rich people act in spite of fear. They're afraid, but they do it afraid. That's like, for example, and think about those moments where you were like, man, ooh. Did it kill you? You did it anyway, right? Did it kill you? You right. You watching me, right? It didn't do a thing. It's all in here. It's all in here. It's not even real, okay, when it comes to fear. So just do it. Do it anyway. Poor people let fear stop them. Don't let fear stop you because it's just your imagination. It's just your mind. It's just your mind. Those thoughts that you allow to enter your mind and then you accept it as truth. And it really isn't. And then the final point in The Secret of the Millionaire Mind book is this. Rich people constantly learn and grow. They learn and they grow. Poor people think they already know. You ever met those individuals that say, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to hear that. Most people do need to hear it because most people don't even know that cash is not money, for example. Most people think that cash is money. And that's why they keep working and working and working and working and working until they die. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I didn't know that before 3 years ago. Okay. But again, I learned, rich people constantly learn and grow. That's what happened over the last 3 years or so. I grew and I'm still growing. Okay. I'm still growing. I'll call myself a professional student. I want to learn something every single day. I really do. And so everybody, these were the points, the important points pulled out of this series we went over, the book that we just reviewed, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I'm telling you, you want to go back over that content. You want to just kind of let it soak into your brain. And I'm not going to kind of dwell on it too much because right now training is going on. So I'm not going to hold you. And so I've been sharing and alluding to a team that I'm a part of. We are wealth builders. Yes, we have cash flow. We make money while we sleep so we don't have to work until we die. And we're building our net worth. We are protecting the cash, right, that we're generating. We're protecting it from factors like inflation and other things out there. So we can maintain that price stability. We can maintain the value and store it. Okay, store it in a commodity that's going to grow and increase over time. And that's what you want to do. This is how we're building wealth. Maybe you're like, Lakeisha, I still need to have some more information about this. That's fine. Listen, there's a couple things going on right now. Wealth builders, you know that there's a training going on to help you build what we have access to. And so you want to make sure you're with Mr. Al Murray, right? He's doing the 5 and 5 training over there at goldrocks.info. And so it's on right now. So you want to go ahead over there. For those of you who are not wealth builders just yet, I encourage you to get back with me or the person that shared this with you so you can get on the path to generating multiple streams of income, number one, okay? And then you want to get in position so that you can build wealth, so you can pass on this wealth to your children and your children's children. You want to build it. You want to have this thing going on. You want to do something different than what your parents or your grandparents might not have done. You want to start something different, a different pathway where you're building wealth. Do something that your parents or your grandparents didn't do. Maybe they just didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the resources. And so now you do. You are listening. You're watching this. You have the unique opportunity to build wealth. You can ask questions and learn. As a matter of fact, there's a presentation that's going to happen at 9 o'clock tonight. And you can be on that presentation. All you would need to do, number one, is download the Zoom app. Download it. It's free. It's absolutely free. Download the app. And then at 9 o'clock p.m., you want to join me on the Zoom platform at www.goldrocks.info. Okay? goldrocks.info. Join me there. Okay? Now, you're going to need a password because it is password protected. So make sure you inbox me or the other person that shared this with you so you can get the password and join us on there. Okay? Really simple, really easy. And so you'll understand what I mean when it comes to saving real money and having the different streams of income, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So meet me on that platform. We may also try to stream it on Facebook, but it's best to be on the Zoom platform with us. Okay. So listen, we'll be back tomorrow night for the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. I have definitely enjoyed my time with you tonight. Don't forget, if you haven't loved the stream, go ahead and do so and share this out with everyone that you know. And so until then, I encourage each and every one of you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everyone, and God bless.